Portia, your host of Lifin podcast. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Did y'all miss me? I mean, it's only been like a week, but still, I missed y'all. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. Okay, and listen, we're recording on not Friday night. Okay, this is midweek. I missed recording last week due to my vacationing. Anywho, but I'm back full fledged, ready to go. Okay. Speaking of my vacation, my birthday, the holiday, Christmas, all the things. Look at my cup that my best friend got me. Isn't it beautiful? It says "Life be Lifin," and it got my little logo on there. She's so cute with her fro and my name. Isn't it beautiful? And look, she put hosted by the award-winning podcaster Portia. Oh, period. Okay, because we claiming it and we speaking it into existence. It's going to happen. Y'all heard it here first. All right. Don't be no hater. We rebuke all negative vibes. Okay. In the name of Jesus. All right. But yeah, I'm feeling good, y'all. I hope y'all are too. Listen, I am super excited to be here with y'all tonight for episode number 8. Okay. And tonight, we are going to be talking about, do you have a cap? I'm talking about capacity. Okay. And I know that may sound a little weird, whatever, but we're going to talk about how life be life and when you're not sure or are sure about what you feel you are capable of committing to. Okay. That's a whole thing. Okay. Us as a people, human beings generally, do we really know our full capacity? Like, do we really know like what we're fully capable of, or do we let other people's impressions or our parents, our friends, our loved ones, our partners, significant others dictate to us what our capacity should be or what should be included in that capacity? Okay, we have to be real honest with ourselves and have this conversation with ourselves. And this is a conversation I had with myself. Like everything I do on this podcast, I'm not talking at anybody necessarily. I'm talking with you all because I'm experiencing this as well, or I've experienced it and I'm trying to like process it, right? Let's have another conversation about our capacity and what we feel like we're capable of being committed to or committing to. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into the first segment. Y'all already know I got some questions, period. Y'all already know. So these are a few of the questions that I'm asking throughout this podcast today. First question: who is truly in control of your capabilities? Yeah, I pause because I want you to really think about that. Like, who is truly in control of your capabilities? You can't go, listen, I feel like you can't go based off of what other people feel that you're capable of. I am, i.e., guilty of that. Okay. I stayed stagnant for so long based off of what other people told me I was capable of doing, right? But Portia will not be living in that space any longer. And I hope that y'all not either. But just ask yourself, who is truly in control of your capabilities? Second question: when do you know you have reached your max? Max as in the cap, like you're at your full capacity. When do you know that you've reached that point in your life or in your journey or in your relationship or in your career or in whatever it pertains to? When do you know? Okay. My third question: why is it important to know yourself in this way? Okay. Why is it important for you to know what is your capacity or what you're fully capable of? Why do you think that's important? I think it's very important because it helps you to be guided fully in like for yourself, right? Like to know, like, okay, I can do this or whatever. So it kind of helps you make decisions and kind of helps you be stand more in who you are, opposed to not knowing and kind of just winging it essentially. But at some part of life you do that, but at some part of life you want to be able to answer why is this important to know yourself in this way. Okay. And then the last question is, how do you execute this clearly? Okay. How do you execute this clearly? Clearly as in, I guess this will be a communication piece, right? Or a planning out piece, or whatever will help you do this. How do you do that? And everybody's different. Some people will do it through communication. Some people will do it by mapping out everything that they want to do, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish within your capabilities or whatever. This is what you will be answering that question to. Okay, so those are my questions for tonight's topic. What is your capacity? Do you got a cap? Okay. Okay, the kids today, all right, they use that, man, that's cap, a little phrase and whatever. I say kids today. First of all, I'm 35, so I don't, some things I just don't ascribe to, and I'm not, whatever, that's y'all thing, that's cool. But I guess because I never fully understood. This is my old self coming out now. I don't fully understood what they meant by like cap, but I also kind of understand. So anyway, like you capping, like you lying, like you exaggerating, like you putting a little bit more on it than what belongs on it. That's kind of like what cap is. So that's maybe like you capping or whatever, or they capping or whatever. But I'm not talking about that type of capping. I'm talking about your capacity and what you feel like you're capable of. What's the height of you when you fill your bottle all the way up and you can put your cap on and be like, that's it for me. I have no more space. I have no more room for any other thing or whatever outside of what I've already accomplished or what I already wanted to do, or whatever it is, whatever scenario. That's pretty much what we're talking about tonight. Quick story about me. For me, where I came into the realization of my capacity, because right now I still am filling my cup, okay? My cup is not full, but I have a better understanding of what I'm capable of. Therefore, I know how I want to proceed with filling my cup, but my cup is not full. So I can't come from a place of telling you I've put a cap on my journey in life thus far, because I still got a lot more life to live. I got a lot of more goals I want to reach, a lot of more opportunities, a lot of more things I want to do. Okay, which is fine. The whole point of this episode tonight is to think about a particular thing and be honest with yourself, whether it be your career, whether it be your education, whether it be your children, your family life, whether it be your relationship, because people have expectations of others or their partner that they see potential. They see potential and want to place you at that place, or want to push you forward, but that may not be in your capacity. Instead of being honest and saying to your partner and that I don't feel like I can do that, we shy away from that conversation, or we'll say, okay, yeah, I'll do it, or no, I don't want to do it, and it's no real explanation. But we'll get further into that. But back to me. Where I did find that my capacity was full, and I'm looking around because, is it really, Portia? It's I go back and forth with this all the time, but no, I really feel like I'm full in this space. So the place that I feel like my capacity is full in is me having children. Okay. So as you all may know or remember, I have two beautiful girls. They are 6 and 3. Okay, the initial plan, what I thought I would be capable of doing, and what I had capacity for in my 20s, that when I was talking about having children, and me and my husband talked about having children, prior to me having my husband, I talked about having a big family because I always loved big families, right? I wanted like 10 kids, whatever. My grandparents both sides, my maternal grandmothers both have families, and my grandfathers have families of brothers and sisters. They are 10 plus, like kids or whatever. And I always thought, oh my gosh, that's so cool, because I just grew up with me and my brother and then my two little sister cousins. It was four of us essentially that grew up with each other. And I always wanted more. I wanted more. I wanted a sister. I wanted more people around me. So I was like, when I get grown and I start having kids, I'm going to have a bunch of kids. Okay. But then, as life kept happening, life was lifing. I was like, yeah, no, I don't think I want that many. I think I'm okay with having 4. Okay. I think 4 is a good number. I can potentially have 2 boys and 2 girls, or whichever way God see fit. As long as I got some girls up in there and some boys, I'll be cool. Whatever. I mean, I'll be cool regardless. Let's be clear, God. I'm cool. But that was the plan. That was what I thought I was capable of. That's what I thought I had the capacity for. Okay. Me and my husband talked about it, and he was like, he's okay with 3. Okay. And I was like, I can compromise with 3. I wanted 4, but I can compromise with 3. That's fine. That's doable. And then we had our first daughter. Okay. And she was so just breathtaking. Like, she was everything. We had a gender reveal and all that type of stuff, and found out that it was going to be a girl. And we really were like praying for a boy to be like the firstborn, how that whole thing goes. But we were blessed with a beautiful girl, and she was just everything to me. I even told my family and friends, like, I can't possibly see having another girl, because how I'm going to I love this little girl so much. I don't have the capacity to love another little girl. That's what I thought at the time. Okay. 3 years later, we got pregnant again. We didn't do a gender reveal for her, but we found out that we were having a girl again. And I was like, oh no, but also yay, like, perfectly healthy, beautiful girl. We did have another little girl. And I thought my breath was taken away with the first one. Jesus. Like, I am beyond in awe of this little girl as well. Like, the love for my girls is truly equal. Like, I love them so much. And my family still teases me to this day. Remember, you said you didn't think you had a capacity to love another little girl, and look at you. I was like, I know, they're both so beautiful and amazing. Anywho, but yeah, that's what I thought I had the capacity for. That's what I thought I was capable of. But yeah, back to having the first one. After having the first one, and we did wait 3 years in between, my husband was like, yeah, I'm good. He was good after the one. He said he wanted 3, and he was good after the one. He was like, we could just have 1. And I was like, no, we cannot have 1. We have to give her a sibling. We have to. That would be boring. Okay. And there's no other kids in our family that's small. So she would have been growing up by herself. Like, no. So I talked them into the second baby, and we got our beautiful baby girl again. So yeah, but it was like, if I didn't get a boy that second time, because the first one was tough. Again, going back to what I've said prior to, people that don't have children and you fantasize about having children, having a family, all that type of stuff, I don't think they fully think out. And I say this because I did not. I knew that it would be a lot of work, essentially. And especially as a mom, like, I knew it would be a lot of work. But when you actually in it is when you actually know. And that's like pretty much most things in life, right? We can say, oh yeah, I would never do this, or I'll never do that, or I wouldn't do this, or I wouldn't choose to do that. Until you're actually in it, don't say never, baby. Don't say never. Until you actually have to make that decision, don't say you would never do this or that, because you don't know. You just don't know. So you just don't know like what you're capable of, or um ooh, that's deep. You don't know what you're capable of until you're actually in the situation. Okay. So that's why I say no judgment zone, no judging anybody or anything, because life is hard. Life is hard at times when you have to make decisions or do things that you probably thought you would never do, even if the decision is you thought you wanted to have children. We could have easily made that decision after being around other couples that had young kids or babies and stuff like that, and seeing how hard it is on them, and said, hey, you know what, we don't want to have no kids at all. Okay. But that's not the decision that we made. But anyway, I just want us to be more graceful and more realistic about not saying what you wouldn't do, because you don't know until you're in the situation. So, but he was for sure, like, I don't want him more after this. And I was for sure, like, I don't want him more after this either. Like, if I don't get this boy this time, oh well. And I had really good pregnancies outside of morning sickness, majority of my pregnancies, both times. I didn't have any complications. I didn't have any pains outside of the normal little discomfort. I was good. I was big as a house with both of them, but that was it. Like, my pregnancies were, thank you, Lord. Okay. But I knew that I didn't want to sacrifice my body again. May sound selfish to some, but that's my choice. Okay. I sacrificed my body twice. And seeing the effects it had on my body to produce life. And even going through the process, like, it's essentially a year. It's 10 months that you're pregnant, but it's essentially a year. And then it takes a whole nother year for your body to even get back to where it needs to get back to. It's the whole thing. And I was just like, no, I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to breastfeed again. I don't want to do any of those things again. But then, I love babies. And then I see little beautiful babies and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I could do that again. Or I see my baby's pictures that come up and stuff like that. I'll be like, oh my gosh, we make some beautiful babies. I want to do it again. And then I think about my 3-year-old in her current state, and I'll be like, oh, no, Portia, no. Because she is a handful, okay? They're both a handful. Don't get me wrong. They both a handful, but that littlest one, that's birth control. I'm good. So I've met my capacity. I now know what I'm capable of, and I am capable of taking care of 2 children. I am capable of that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of requirement on me. Where they're both in school now, so going through that whole process and like everything, like, it's a lot. And I feel at this time in my life that my capacity is at its peak with children. Okay. Again, I don't know what the future holds. I really don't. I'm not saying never, but I feel and I felt like when I was pregnant with my second daughter that I was done. And I had this is, I had a whole tubalization order in or whatever, because I was like, I'm done having kids, like, and I don't want to have no slip ups anymore, or not anymore, Lord Jesus, not that I didn't have any slip ups, but I didn't want to have any more children, so I wanted to be able to still do the do without the product. Okay, so and my husband talked me out of it. It was like, nah, because I feel like in 3 years you're gonna want to do it again. It's 3 years. Okay. It's 3 years. And also a part of me is kind of like, if I did do it again, what if I get another girl? Like, I want a boy. But I'm not. I feel like I'm in my capacity. For real. All jokes aside, I feel like I'm at my capacity for having children. And this is, I was capable. I did it. And I don't think I need to do it anymore. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that decision. For real. Whatever God has planned or in store, whatever. But no, I really feel like I'm good. I've met I that's my cap. Them two little girls, okay? That's my cap. I'm good. So yeah, that was one area for me that what my capability was years ago and what it kind of is now. And that's why like that goes into my next thing about, do having a cap mean that you are closed off to expansion, right? Like, because if you put a cap on it and it's a hard stop or a hard no for you, which I could easily say that, like, no, I'm not having any more kids. I'm going to do everything possible to not allow that to happen because I don't want it to happen. What if I have a conversation again with someone and say, yeah, I want to do this again, or they want to do it, right? And I'm like, I have to kind of figure that out, right? Or I can be like, no, like, but and then that would expand me, right? If I did choose again to open that cap back up, all the things that I said I wasn't gonna do again, like, it would just expand my horizon, my territory, just like my second kid did for my first. Like, it expanded me. It will expand me again. Are you okay with that? Are you willing to do that? These are real questions you need to ask yourself. And I feel like, yeah, even with the second one, me talking my husband into it or whatever, and he ultimately did it. I mean, even though he was like, he was good with the first one, but I think he was also like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm okay with it. But some people are not so much like that. And I want to not warn, caution people to not pressure other people to do what you think they're capable of doing. Just because you think so doesn't make it right for them. Don't put that pressure on them to make them do something that they feel like they're not capable of. And I feel like a lot of times parents can be like that. They tell you when your cap is, and that's not necessarily your place, especially when the kid is grown. But also, I feel like, I mean, how I am raising my kids, I want them to be open to have conversations with me and tell me how they really feel and what they feel like they're capable of doing and what they're capable of not doing. And even when I feel like they are capable of doing it, I'm always going to encourage them. Encouraging and pressuring is two different things. I'm always going to encourage them to try or apply themselves or to see themselves in a light that they can't possibly see, right? In that moment, in that time, in that space that they're in. Because that can be very true as well. I feel like a lot of parents have good intentions when they are pressuring their kids, but it kind of comes off to the kids like, I don't have a choice, right? And you don't want your kid to feel like that. And also, you don't want your partner to feel like that. You don't want your friend to feel like that. You don't want anybody that you're in a relationship with to feel like they don't have the true choice, or if they tell you their true feelings, that you won't accept that. So therefore, they have to go along with the get along. And that's not a good place to be in, right? Because nobody wants to be pressured or feel uncomfortable about a decision that they're making or anything like that. So we got to be very careful when we do certain things like that, okay? It's a fine line. It's a fine line. But it's a difference between encouraging and pressuring. Okay? So I just want to be clear on that. So I don't think like having a cap, i.e. my example of having children, if I was asked to have another child, I would consider it. Therefore, I am open to taking that cap off and expanding myself more. But also, again, to each his own. Don't judge nobody for doing what they feel that they want to do. You can't tell me what my capacity is, no matter what you feel like my situation looks like or whatever. Like, that's not your place to tell somebody what they're capable of doing or what their capacity is. And I know in this society that we do that all the time and be like, this person should only have this and that, or this person have on this. That ain't your place. Mind your business, mind yourself, okay? In 2023 and beyond, mind your business and mind yourself. this world will be a better place. And then, so another part of it is like being realistic and being logical, right? So the dictionary describes realistic as, or defines realistic as, based on what is real rather than what is wanted or hoped for, like not impractical or visionary. Whew. And that's a space that I'm really like working on myself with, because I have in the past very much claimed to be a realist. But I think I also used to say that because it was easier to not pay attention to the visions, to not pay attention to the visionary that's within me. And I'd be like, no, I'm just realistic. Like, that can't happen for me. Like, no, I can't do that. But you can. You can do whatever you want to do. Like, you literally can do whatever you want to do if you apply yourself. If you feel like you're truly capable of doing it, go for it. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't put yourself on the bench. Get off the bench. Get in the game. Play. Okay? I had to tell myself that. I've been on vacation for like 2 weeks from work. And I always take this vacation at the end of the year because my birthday is 4 days before Christmas. Whatever. Then I just take off from my birthday and forward and just return in the new year. This vacation, I did nothing. I didn't go anywhere, anything like that. I just took time to myself. This is what that end of the year vacation is for me. End of the year vacation is for me is to just like recalibrate, to recoup, to relax, to reprogram myself. Okay. I was able to do a few things here and there, but that was not the goal. The goal was for me just to relax. My kids are out of school. We all on break. Let's just break. Okay. And I really truly took advantage of that this year, or last year. I reflected on the year and saw like a lot of the stuff that I accomplished in 2022 was not based off of realism. It was based off of vision. I mean literally. I was not in positions. I wasn't in positions or places that I thought I was capable of accomplishing on my own. And God said otherwise because I had the vision. And I still exercise. I still executed because of the vision. I didn't let my realism stop me. Therefore, the vision came to pass. God gave me the vision. This didn't come up out of osmosis, or I thought this up on my own. Only, yes, I had a part I played in it because I know what I ultimately want. But even if I didn't get what I ultimately wanted, I got a step closer because God gave me the vision, and He said that I could live life and I could live it more abundantly. And even if somebody around me or could see or saw what, if I would have told them in the middle of me going through it, all of what I saw and all of what I thought, they would have tried to talk me out of what I was capable of because they couldn't see my capacity. They couldn't see what I was capable of, but I could see it. Therefore, it came to pass. I don't know how else to tell y'all. Like, had I stopped myself like I have done so many times in the past, I would have been stagnant. I would have been in that same place because I'm a realist and I can't do that. You don't have the capacity for that, Portia. But no, I do. God is a God that is will make the impossible possible. Whatever you believe to be impossible, it is possible. If He did it before, He can do it again. Stop limiting Him. Again, back to the doubt. Like, and I got that on here too. Doubt from other voices. Me and my dad been having that conversation a lot lately. Like, we get in this place of doubt because of other voices that we hear. That's not God's voice. That's those demonic voices. That's those other spirits trying to tell you what you're not capable of doing or what your capacity is. That's not God. Because God's word says differently. He said that he can do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that you can ever ask or think. So if I thought it, if I had the vision of it, if I could see it, therefore it can happen. So why do we put ourselves in this tiny little box? Why do we put ourselves in those little 2-ounce bottles instead of putting yourself in a big 2-liter bottle and watching you fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up with all the greatness that's inside of you, with all the capabilities that's inside of you? Why we do that? Why do we minimize ourselves? God put way more in me that I'm capable of than 2 ounces. That ain't nothing. I could drink a 2-ounce bottle of water in one swallow. That ain't nothing. How about a gallon? Let's go more than a 2-liter. How about a gallon? Let's fill this gallon up, okay? Because that's how much greatness is inside of me. Actually, I need 2-3 gallons. It's overflow over here. You are more than capable of doing what those doubtful voices are telling you. They telling you that because you're trying to stop the assignment that is on your life. The assignment that is on your life is much greater than you. I truly understand that my purpose in this world and everything I'm experiencing and everything that I am going through is not just for me. I am not that naive or foolish to believe that all of my pain, my suffering, my lessons, my trials, my tribulations is only for me. It is for my children. It is for everyone that I am connected to. It is for generational people, generation to generation to generation. It's for all. This is for to break certain things, to allow new things to come in. This I am experiencing life in the way that I am experiencing it because my grandchildren, my children's children are going to have a better life than I have. They're going to have a different point of view. They're going to have a different outlook. They're not going to have to experience turmoil like my ancestors had to experience. That's why we do what we do, day to day. So don't let those doubtful voices come in, creep in. Every time you have a good thought, every time you have a positive thought, every time you envision yourself doing something great, and it comes in and say who you are, who you think. God don't question you in that way. He don't. He told you he would give you the desires of your heart. If he would give you the desires of your heart, your desire is to be greater than what you currently are. He will give it to you. Especially if your faith within that work. Okay? If you put forth faith within that work, he'll do it. He'll do it. So don't listen to those doubtful voices. You can be realistic, but also don't stay stagnant in that. Don't take that and be like, I'm a realist. It's okay to an extent. If you want greater, you have to be a visionary. So yeah, let's not pay attention to those doubtful voices. And those doubtful voices not only be in your head or in your spirit or whatever. It could come from social media. It could come from the people that you love. Anybody can be used. Okay, let's be clear. Let's be watchful. Let's be more aware of our surroundings, who we're listening to, who we're allowing into our space, who we're allowing into our spirit, who we're entangling with. You have to be more mindful than we have been in the past. There's been many of reckless moments I've had in my life and allowed certain spirits and people to be around me. Everybody don't deserve your space. Everybody don't deserve your energy. Everybody don't deserve your light. Okay? Be honest with yourself. Ask yourself these questions, okay? And get in tune with yourself. Don't put a cap on yourself until you feel like you're ready to put that cap on. Not based off anybody else. It's you. But also get to the root of why you're putting your cap on that. Me coming to my decision about the kids was more so a selfish thing. Like, I don't want to sacrifice my body no more. That's the realest answer I can give you. I don't want to do it again. Okay? But that's my decision. And that's okay. But you may feel differently. You may feel like you keep going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. Do you, boo? Do you? That's the point. Do what you feel like is best for you. And don't judge the next person for doing what they do for themselves. Okay? We was talking about being realistic and logical. And logical definition is an action, development, decision, etc., natural or sensible given the circumstances. It's characterized by or capable of clear, sound reasoning. Like, and again, I feel like I can be a very realistic, very logical person, okay? But I don't want to get so caught up in that I'm not able to see the miracles that God has in store for me, that I'm not able to see the great things that can happen outside of all of that, right? Like, God is not a realist. If he chooses to in this very moment to, I don't know, like paint this wall blue or whatever, he can do that. If he want to teleport me to another place, he can do that. That sounds unrealistic. That sounds illogical, like, but it can happen. Because what he's capable of has no capacity. Okay? I want us to be more intentional about being real with ourselves about what we're capable of and what our capacity is, and be open to an extent, right? Hard stops exist for a reason, but also, why do they exist? Again, I was kind of tapping on that earlier, like, you need to get to the root of why you feel the way that you feel. And you need to be able to communicate that to whoever you feel necessary, especially like if you're in a relationship. Be real about why you feel the way that you feel and why that's a hard stop for you. No, I don't want to do this is that, whatever. And just let it be known. Communicate it. Be very clear. Very clear. And don't leave to chance or a space for the other person, for their mind to wonder why you aren't doing this. And then they build up resentment and all. It's a whole thing. But if you don't feel like you're capable of doing something, you owe that to that person and let them know. Because especially if they placed an expectation on you and very much have let you know what it is, and you feeling like, this ain't really what I want to do, but also I don't want to disappoint this person, so I probably need to say something or just do it. But again, be honest with yourself about what your capacity is, because what I may feel your capacity is may not be what you feel. Period. We have to stop, okay? We have to stop. And sometimes, those hard stops and stuff exist because we feel less than and we don't feel worthy enough or all that type of stuff. Again, it goes back to the voices that we hear that tells us that we're not these things. In reality, that we are. We are worthy enough. We can do whatever you put your mind to. Me and my daughters do a mantra every morning on the way to school. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That is a scripture in the Bible, but we use it as a mantra. And I have them repeat it over and over and over again, like to the point of yelling. We start off very low and we start like yelling it, like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I truly believe that. And I want my children to believe that as well. I want them to believe in themselves. I want them to see themselves beyond what the world is telling them that they are or what they're capable of doing. I want you to see that your capacity is capable of being filled way beyond what you can ever imagine or think. It is. Because God already told us it is. So I want you to know that. I want to remind you that before you go into that school building and feel less than because you're not getting something, or less than because somebody else is answering all the questions or they're understanding more. You don't have to feel like that. You don't have to feel inferior at all. Because if you apply yourself, if you really want to do it, you can do it. Whatever resources, whatever we need to do to make sure it's done, we'll do it. Okay? That's my topic for today. I know it was a lot in there or whatever, but I hope y'all get the picture. Please comment and let me know what you think, how you feel, all of those things. I truly appreciate it. So I'm going to move on to my next segment. How does life be lifing for you? But before we do that, we're going to hear from our very own sponsor, Shop Lene. Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Portia O, your host of Life Be Lifin' podcast, and I wanted to show you one of my favorite companies that I use all the time for me and my family, Shop Lene. They have handmade, all-natural body butters and body washes, body scrubs, lip balms, candles, everything that you need to make yourself and your skin feel so extra good. Look how she whipped that up. It's so silky smooth, and it really does moisturize your body the way that it needs to. I'm telling you guys, they have so many different options, from avocado mango butter to cocoa shea butter. Like, it's so many different options. If you can go check them out at their website, which is shoplene.com. That's www.shoplene.com. And she has everything that you need. Go support that small business because life be life. And we're back. Thank you again, Shop Lene. I am so excited to use your products all the time. Thank you again for sponsoring this podcast. All right, back to this segment. How does life be lifing for you? I asked my listeners on social media to send in questions. I've randomly selected these. I selected 2 tonight actually to answer. And it wasn't so much questions today because I did ask them the question about their capacity and all that type of stuff. So they just kind of gave me their gist of what they feel or when they know and all this type of stuff and how they come to the clarity of it all. Okay. So one of my listeners said, thank you again, girl. Shout out to my TikTok fam, okay? One of my listeners said, typically in the workplace, I have a pretty high capacity. If I feel that I have reached a point where I can't complete whatever the expectation is, I will ask for help. And that's good because that's how it should be, okay? In the workplace, especially. I know we go into the work field and be in our careers and stuff like that and feel like we have to be experts in it in order to be respected or be looked at like, oh, they got it together or whatever. And you can have some knowledge of it or whatever, but some places run differently, some places do things differently, and if you feel like I'm maybe not capable of completing this without a little help, It's nothing wrong with that. It's no problem to ask for help. Ultimately, we're all working to achieve the goal of making this company great, right? So I never understood that why people, well, I do understand because people are selfish and all self-loathing, like that's it's all about them, self-centered rather. It's all about them and you focusing only on yourself. But if you really looked at it and stop trying to beat out the other person or be better than the other person, we could just help each other. We all can be great. It's room enough for us all. Okay. But so anyway, I agree with her. It's nothing wrong with asking for help, especially if the expectation is for you to complete something you don't feel fully capable or it's not within your capacity to complete it. Get the help so that y'all can get it done. It's nothing wrong with that. I totally agree with that, and I appreciate you giving me that response about what your capacity is in the workspace. Okay. My next person said, my capacity is pretty high, but I am very good at setting boundaries, articulating them, and holding to them. Communication and self check ins are crucial. Girl, you are speaking my language because, yeah, the old me, I did not do those things. But the new me, the current me, the work in progress me definitely agrees with you. I feel the same way. I feel like my capacity is pretty high on most things. I'm pretty open to trying and doing things or whatever. But like you said, it's very good to set those boundaries and articulate them and hold to them. I'm really learning this through my children, which is crazy. Not so much it is setting boundaries. I set an expectation, set a boundary for them. Like, this is what I expect you to do, whatever. I articulate it to them very clearly or whatever, and I hold them to it. It's the holding them to it is the problem for me, because I've so long let them just like get away with stuff or like, oh, it's okay, whatever. They're still learning. But now I'm trying to set those boundaries. I'm trying to be more communicative and be more articulate about what I want them to do. And I'm holding them to it. So when they don't accomplish what I want them to, i.e., clean up their mess, right? And these they have small little goals that they have to do every week. This is one of them. I'm like, y'all need to clean up behind yourselves. If you don't clean up behind yourself, then you're gonna get an X on the board or whatever. And if you get check marks, then you guys get a reward. And we came up with a reward list, and they see all of this or whatever. But it's me holding to it that if you don't do the cleanup or whatever, and at the end of the week or whatever, mommy's gonna take away your iPad. Like, because iPads are a luxury. It's not a necessity, okay? So you can go play with your toys and all that type of stuff. You don't have to be on your iPad all day. This is something I've allowed them to do, and now I'm trying to let them see the importance of doing what your mommy tells you to do, and when you do something, how you can be rewarded for that. But it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. And sometimes I'll be like, forget that, whatever. I don't hold to the boundary that I have already set with them. I kind of just be like, or in the past, I would be like, okay, whatever. You can still watch your iPad. It's fine. Like, whatever. But no, I have to hold fast and, set that boundary and, yeah, be real with them, because it's only going to help us in the long run. They're going to get to the point that it's going to become automatic that they clean up behind themselves, and we won't even have this conversation again about you're not going to get this or I'm going to take away this. It won't even be a thing at that point, because it's going to be a routine. It's going to become a habit. But you are the only one that is capable of doing that. If you don't set those boundaries, if you don't articulate that, if you don't hold to it, then you will lose everything that you've put into the pot, okay? So yes, I agree that communication and self check-ins are crucial. I do self check-ins, if not daily, every other day. I'm always doing self check-ins because I do not want to continue to make the same mistakes that I have in the past. I don't want to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. I'm tired of it. I am not doing it anymore. So, yeah, those self check-ins, that communication is very key. So I appreciate you two young ladies. It's my TikTok fam. Hey y'all, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you giving me your responses to that question and letting me in on how life been lifing for you. Okay, thank y'all. The last segment, we're here. And that is Speak Life. Okay, of course we're gonna speak life, speak life, speak life. Side note, real quick, Speak Life is all up and through my planner and my journal that are both available on Amazon right now for purchase. Okay, I have a Speak Life affirmation on every page for every week. So that's 52 weeks. 52 Speak Lives in the planner, and I have about 10 of them throughout the journal. So as you journal for a few days, whatever, then you come into another Speak Life just to continuously affirm yourself, to remind yourself, to get you to see yourself. Just like, feel yourself. Like, it's a whole thing, it's a vibe. So please, please, please do me a favor and yourself a favor and go purchase those planners and those journals and get in tune with this Speak Life, because that's what we do over here. So again, this is the segment where I leave you with a call to action for yourself and me. Okay, so I'll leave you with these words to hold on to until next time. Today's affirmation is, I am living the life I was brave enough to create. Again, today's affirmation is, I am living the life I was brave enough to create. Okay? You heard it. You say it. You write it down and remind yourself to speak it and make it happen. Because, child, life be life in us all. I love you all dearly. Thank you for your support. And thank you for listening to me on Life Be Life and Podcast. I will see y'all next week. Bye.